Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, you had an awesome day. Welcome to another episode of the NKA podcast show, where we educate people on how to stay young while growing old, thereby increasing their life expectancy. And for today's edition, we are taking off from where we left last time. Relationships still, how it affects your health generally. And today we are focusing on a particular topic, the effects of today's dating pool on mental health. And from here on, we will drill you with, of course, our expert, Mr. Bide Nelson, who will continuously drill us through the negative effect relationship has on our health and how we can improve from it and live longer and happier here on earth. Mr. Bide, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Clivet.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on this podcast. I think from the last podcast, we started something pertaining to mental health, emotional distress, and looking at it from the perspective of relationship. So this is a continuation of what we started last podcast, and I think a good number of people are going to grab some knowledge pertaining to this particular podcast, which is actually based on today's dating pool and our mental health. So there is a lot we're going to share during this podcast, and like I said, there is a lot people are going to learn. So don't let go. Stay tuned and watch us as we actually explain and teach you on many aspects pertaining to relationship and our mental health.
Yes, there is a lot to be learned concerning relationship and mental health. And if you have not watched the previous edition where we started talking on emotional distress and mental health problems in a relationship point of view, you should do well to watch that particular episode so you'll be able to understand the correlation or where we are headed to from what we have started. So ladies and gentlemen, we will, without wasting further time, dive straight to today's discussion. Yes, Mr. Bide. Dating. What does dating even stand for? What does dating even mean?
Well, if you look at the meaning of dating from the English perspective, dating is just simply taking somebody, going out with that person, maybe to a restaurant, maybe to a cinema or wheresoever, to spend time getting to know more about that person. That is dating. But if you look at dating from the relationship perspective, dating is actually referring to a sexual or intimate relationship. That is what a good number of people understand dating in our current dispensation.
Oh, okay. A good number of people understand it from the intimate point of view. But now, looking at dating, it seems it has been existing for some time now. So what are the changes that have occurred since maybe from time past and now? Where are we headed to in terms of this dating stuff? What is happening?
Yes, there has been a lot of evolution when it comes to dating. Remember before technology, most times we're actually in a statement in the village. I'm talking about for those who have been in the village, or most time dating revolves just around the people you meet, maybe social events, you get to meet people from family, friends, and so on and so forth. And during that time, there was no technology where people could communicate online, where there's a vast range at which you can get to meet people that you can actually start a romantic relationship with. So most times, people you can start a relationship with are those you actually meet maybe from their time to time, those you meet from social events, maybe if there's a birth celebration or any type of events. Now, during that time, you realize that dating was somehow a bit challenging, because in the situation where you are dating a particular lady and you don't want the family to know about it, there are certain strategies you definitely be using. Sometimes some guys will come and stand around the area, pick a stone and throw on the zinc to communicate that they are around. So those are some of the things that people in those days they were actually doing in the dating sphere. Now, looking at the current dispensation, you see that we have technology nowadays, and it has made dating easier. You can even sit here in Cameroon and you you are dating somebody abroad. So you have a wide range that you can actually get to meet many people. So dating has evolved from that particular level. Now you don't need to go and stand somewhere and throw stones or make sounds so that the lady should know that you are around. With your phone, you just communicate and then you tell the person precisely where you are. The person comes there and meets you. So those are some of the advancement or evolution that we are actually experiencing when it comes to the dating sphere.
All right, I like that. We used to throw stones. Yeah, people used to throw stones. Yeah, but now they no longer do that with increase or advancement in technology. Everything has become easy and well, nice. But is it really nice? We will come to it. Yes, and when we look at the current dating pool, there is a lot of chaos in the current dating pool.
Yes, before we talk about the current dating pool, I think we should make people understand what dating pool is.
Okay.
So, dating pool is just the number of people who are eligible for dating, their interests, their geographical area, and many other things that you can consider. So, if you look at it critically from the days of the old, the number of dating pool was actually small because most times people actually date from their immediate environment, those in need. But looking at the current dispensation with the advancement of technology, so people can meet people from a wide range. Like you sit in Cameroon and you can be dating somebody who is abroad, and so on and so forth. So the technology that we have nowadays have made the number of young people, or let me say, the number of people eligible for dating to increase in a supersonical rate because of technology as compared to the days of the old, where people could only focus just around their immediate environment, and perhaps those that they have around their immediate environment, they don't even have interest for those people. So some of them will just keep themselves to themselves or reserve any idea of dating at the moment, knowing that maybe in future when they leave that environment, they'll get to meet somebody that they will actually fall in love with.
And I remember how it used to be, hiding behind a tree, playing. Maybe you go to fetch water, you're playing, and maybe you go for a particular practice somewhere, you have the opportunity to sneak around and play one or two. It was interesting and amazing. And well, times have changed, things have evolved, and we are looking at it. Now, when we look at this particular dating pool, are there any positive things we can take from them as compared to how it was before, the way it was before to now? Are there any positive things we can pick from it?
Yes, there are some positive things we can pick from the current dating pool pertaining to our current dispensation. Back then, accessibility was quite challenging.
Okay.
Communicating with your partner was quite challenging.
Very true.
You could stay for maybe a week even without seeing that your lover.
Yeah.
Maybe the parents are very strict, so you have to devise a particular communication strategy before you get to meet this person and talk to this person. But with the advent of phone, you can sit in your room comfortably and you're communicating with your partner. Even if you want to see the person face, you can do a video call. So those are some of the advantages that we have with the current dating pool. Another thing is options. We have more options now. In those days, if you are living in a village like Kwakwa, where I'm coming from, you could only date girls around Kwakwa. Yes. Maybe if the girls around Kwakwa, and one of the challenges we have with Kwakwa is that we had many boys than girls.
Oh.
So most of the boys were running behind those girls, and at the end of the day, realized that the little amount of girls, little numbers, let me tell you what number of girls that you have there, most guys are already there, they are dating them. So, but now if you look at the current dispensation with your phone, we have even dating apps. People can actually communicate, go to dating apps, establish relationship, date somebody who is not very close to you. There's no need for proximity as it used to be in the days of the old. So you have many options. So the number of people you meet on social media and those who are making advances to you. For instance, if some girls, so they open their inbox, in a day, they have about 10 guys who are actually chatting them up, trying to make advances and all the like. So there are many options. Those are some of the advantages. Then we also have breaking social barriers. social barriers. So sometimes some people were not very socialized and all the like. You meet a lady and before you say a word, I love you are scared.
Yes.
But now that social barrier is not actually a problem again. With your phone, once you have actually gotten a bit acquainted with the person through phone, you can actually meet the person physically. That fear must have actually reduced as compared to if you are meeting the person physically for the first time. So those are some of the advantages that we have when it comes to this thing.
You know, sir, what you're saying just happened here. It happened to me when I just entered the dating stuff. It happened to me.
Okay.
By then, there were phones, but we were limited. And to stand, we needed a lot of courage. Personally, I needed a lot of courage. I normally am very courageous, yeah, but when it comes to that particular aspect, it seems you need extra courage because you're going to talk to somebody. You don't know exactly how that person will respond. You don't know if the person will be receptive or the person will be rude. Yeah, we fear. And I was like scared for some time. Then after, I'm like, when you say the thing to the person and the person is receptive, you're like, oh,
you know, when it comes to guys, it is quite challenging. If you see a guy start dating, that guy probably have friends who are actually there to influence him, to give him the courage to go ahead. It's different from ladies. Ladies is just that aspect of shyness. Yes. I get it. Guys, you need somebody who at times. I remember when I was going, I have my friends who will tell you specific word. If you call her and she comes, tell her like this. If you say it like this. So sometimes most guys are beginning to learn how to make advances. You understand? In the next day, they will say how to chat again. So you begin to learn. You have some calm words, and when you get there, then the lady does not use some of those words. You become a bit speechless and embarrassed. You get it? So, but once you do it once and twice, then you begin to have a mastery of it. Making advances to a lady or expressing yourself is not about specific words. You only get to respond listening to how the person responds. But in those days, you have to learn. So some of those were some of the challenges that, as compared to now that people have apps, go to dating apps, you pick words, you come and send, and all the like. That's make things easier as compared to back then.
Now, it has made things easier indeed. And just to remind you that we are interested in educating people on how to stay young while growing old, thereby increasing their life expectancy. And today we are focusing on relationships and how these relationships affect mental health. So it's very vital we paint this introduction, this background, so you understand where we are headed. And in this light, when we look at the current dating pool, what challenges do they pose or do people face in the current dating pool?
Yeah, there are many challenges I think that people face in the current dating pool. You see, if you have about 3 items in front of you, and you need to make a decision on which item to choose, right? At times, somehow it's not very difficult to make that decision. But if you have about 25 items in front of you and you have to make a decision to choose,
choose one,
with maybe all of them having almost the same characteristics, properties, you see that it becomes challenging. So one of the main challenges that many people have in today's dating pool is choice overload. So they have many choices to make. As we have social media has also actually given them the possibility of getting to meet so many people. So now to make the right choice becomes challenging. If you have for a lady, you have about 2 or 3 guys in front of you who are making advances that all of them almost have the same quality. You might have about 30, but you can eliminate until you get to a point where you have about 5 and all of them have the same quality. It becomes difficult. But if you were living maybe in a village, you get it, in a village where you have just a particular guy you admire, to make a decision, it will not be something challenging. So that is one challenge that people face when it comes to the current dating pool. Another thing is the aspect of how do I even call it? Superficiality.
Yeah.
You get it? Now, fake life. Or not actually fake life, but a good number of people actually focus on the face-to-face appearance of somebody, the physical look to make a choice of a partner, without going deep into other aspects. Back in the days, especially in the village, before you date somebody or even before you marry somebody, most times you get to know more about a person. Young people most times focus on the quality of the person. Why? Because while at home, they get what their parents say. I love this family. This is how this family behave. Yes. So most times, a young man coming from that family already has an upper hand when it comes to making advances to a particular lady. So those are some of the things that we considered. But now you realize that young people so much focus on this superficial aspect of a person. I want a guy who is tall, I want a guy who is fair, I want a guy who looks this and that. So they don't actually look at the most important aspect or significant aspect when it comes to dating. Normally, physical look is good. You cannot date somebody you are not proud of. But there are other things that are more important when it comes to character. The person can be good, but if the character is not good, you might not be able to build a formidable relationship with that person. So that's another thing. Then this aspect of ghosting and rejection, mostly with social media. Ghosting. With the current dating pool, we have a lot of immature people. You see that back in the days, ladies or young people don't date. They didn't date very early. But with our current dispensation, we have young people from the age of 15, 14 that are already into a relationship. Now they get into a relationship without knowledge on how to manage a relationship. So with any encounter, any little error, what happens? They start ghosting one another. Ghosting and all those things actually leads to emotional distress, which can later lead to mental health issues. Those are some of the things that we face with the current dating pool. Another is
so I just remembered a story that happened to me the very first time I wrote a letter to a girl.
Okay.
And that was the very first time in my life I wrote a letter to a girl. I liked that girl. I wrote a letter to her. She looked at that letter. She read the letter, and then to me, I considered it was to be privacy. Then she went and read it with her friends. Now, the drama there was terrible. And then she came back with a reply. The reply was horrible. They insulted me, and for months, I could not walk on the same path with that girl. If I'm coming and she's going, I'll either turn, I'll branch by force. Nothing, no reason. I'll just have to branch.
And you people were in the same class?
We're in the same class. In the same quarter.
Just imagine how it actually affected your studies. Because while in class, you probably not focus on what the teacher is teaching.
Nothing.
Your mind will be disturbed. You don't want to look towards the area where she is, the friends, all of them. They will just be like a threat in your life.
They were. It took me a lot of time and courage before I could start talking to her again. Then I just later realized, let bygones be bygones, and we moved on. But since then, I learned a bitter lesson. I'm not writing to you. At least let me be stable up here. He said, do you know what it means to not be able to eat your favorite food because of one girl? Let's continue.
All right, that was actually a very good experience. I think now that we are discussing on this particular topic, we see how it relates with our own personal life, personal experiences that we have had. Yes, this aspect of rejection is another one. Yes, a good number of people have not learned how to handle rejection.
That's true.
And they fail to understand that in life you'll be rejected in many aspects, not just relationship. It might be a job that you apply for, and they will reject you. So you must learn how to handle rejection, and you must understand that rejection is part of life. It's part of all human beings. In one way or the other, they will reject you. So many young people jump into a relationship and they don't love rejection. When they are rejected, it ends up affecting their mental health. I once hear a lady say, all my friends are dating. All the guys that can be good to my friend. It's like I'm not beautiful. I feel rejected and all the like. Even on social media, Facebook, My friends show their messages, how guys get to their inbox, but nobody has gotten to me. You see, because of the current tools that we have, it's causing some young people to feel rejection, right? Because many people are not getting to their inbox to make advances. And at the end of the day, it makes some of them become emotionally distressed, which might affect their mental health. So those are some of the things or situations that we face in our today's dating pool.
And just to chip in, or just to ask another question. Now, with all this we have said, this rejection and everything, how does it affect, or how does it impact their health, especially their mental health? Because when you look at it, the trauma they go through because of all these things, I believe it affects them in ways that they might not even understand the gravity or the intensity of what is happening to them. Probably, maybe in the long run, if at all they understand. So how does it affect them?
Yeah, I just talk about mental health. You understand? Most times, some of these things come as a result of anxiety. You see, young people are worried. My friends are dating, I'm not dating. I don't have a partner. Guys are rejecting me. Or a guy makes advances to ladies and he keeps getting rejection. That guy becomes worried. I get him. When he becomes worried, it might likely affect his mental health, leading to depression.
Yes.
So those are some of the consequences of the situations that we face in today's dating pool. Rejection. So another thing that might affect people is self-esteem. Some people, it tends to kill their self-esteem.
True.
You see, a good number of people go into relationship without the knowledge, and like I always say, the Bible says, "My people perish when they lack knowledge." Now, the lack of knowledge actually sets in the inability to manage their relationship. Now, if all these things begin to happen, you might realize that some people begin to have low self-esteem. You see a guy treating a lady poorly in a relationship. If that lady is not very careful, she's going to start having low self-esteem. So those are some of the things. They will also have this fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. I've been in a situation, there was a time I was in a relationship, the relationship failed, then I decided to stop dating. That was when I started inquiring more about relationship. I started learning about relationship. I stayed for about 5 to 6 years without dating. So my friends were like, "Is there something wrong with you? You are missing out in life, blah, blah, blah." So you realize that sometimes if you have not understood where you are headed, you have not understood your path, if you have not chosen your unique path, the fear of missing out might force you to get into a relationship that might end up destroying you. And that is what happened with most young people of our time. Because all your friends are dating, they also want to feel, they also want to belong. Let me use the word belong. They also want to belong. So as a result, they get themselves into a relationship that is not healthy. Now, most of them start experiencing emotional distress. And if care is not taken, it gets to mental health, that might destroy their mindset and destroy their life entirely. So those are some of the things that we experience, or negative impact that we get from today's current dating pool.
Thank you. And these things are highly relatable. They are things that affect your health in a way that you cannot even imagine. The impact it has on you or on any other person you know is really, really terrible. And if you know somebody that needs this information, please do not be selfish. Share such information with them. Always make sure that another person hears this information. And for you to constantly have such high quality information from us, do not forget to subscribe and turn on notification bell so that each time we have content for you, you will be the first person to receive it. And back to this particular we are looking at the dating pool, and we look at what is the contribution of social media to this dating pool.
Social media has a lot of contribution when it comes to this dating pool. The first is social media influence. A good number of people have been influenced by social media.
Okay.
Now we are of social media influencers, and we have all sorts of relationship coaches, amateurs, those who have not actually studied anything about relationship, those who are talking from the place of their own personal experience, failing to know that their personal experience is not general experience.
That's true.
Those people, I can say the devil has actually sent them to destroy the world through their teachings.
Yes.
So there have been a lot of influence. The influence sometimes are negative and sometimes are positive. But for my own personal judgment, right, I would say majority of the influence that people get from social media pertaining to relationship are negative influence. There are many people who started dating because of social media. You will get people who will tell you that if you are dating a man who is not giving you 20 million, then you are foolish. If you are dating a guy or if a guy is making advances to you, talking stage is 500,000. You get it? Now, a good number of people, especially young people, between the age of 18 right up to 28 or 30, they have gotten into relationship not because it was the appropriate time, but because of social media influence. And sometimes it's not only social media influence from your friends. When they see their friends dating, their friends come and tell them what happens in the relationship, the pleasure they had, this and that, and it begins to influence them. They too want to get into that relationship. Just like I was talking about missing out, the feeling of missing out. So social media has a very big part to play, and one of those parts is the aspect of influencing, the influences that people get from social media. Another thing is validation seeking. People want to feel validated on social media. You see a lady post a picture and like, how do I look? I get it. So such a person is seeking validation from other people.
Very common.
They have not understood that they themselves, as a person first, you have your worth. As a person, you are actually beautiful or handsome. You don't need somebody to tell you or to validate if you are handsome or beautiful. There is one social media blogger. I don't know if it's a blogger. They call him Ajim something. I used to follow him. He's not very active again. So he was actually posting this match up, like what daily match up does. So the one lady actually posted one time. The lady gave the quality of the type of man she wants. Then she gave her own quality. She stated her own qualities. She's hardworking. She's financially stable. And all the like. Then at the end, she said she is not beautiful. When I read through, I felt really bad. How can you tell yourself you are not beautiful? If you want to actually analyze that lady or try to find out why she says so, realize that perhaps she has been seeking for social media validation that has not been given to her, or validation from other people. So those are some of the things that we face. Simple post. How do I look? Am I not beautiful? Blah, blah, blah. So they are looking for validation. So those are some of the influence or some of the things that we get from social media. When that influence our lives in one way or the other. Another one is this curating a person. I will not actually want to talk much about that. I think as time goes on, I will actually mention.
Yes, there are a lot of things happening out there, especially this social media influence. The influence that social media has on youth majorly hasn't been too good, despite the fact that there is always the good side and the bad side. But when we want to look at the bad side of social media, especially pertaining to relationships, it is not really encouraging. And now we have these other platforms, dating apps that people use. Why should people even engage in dating apps? Is this like socialization has not really been? Why should people engage in dating apps?
Well, dating apps, personally, I don't love it. I don't love it. I have my reasons. But I think dating apps in our current dispensation plays a lot when it comes to the sphere of dating. A good number of people have actually located their partner on dating app. Yeah. But I think dating app is not the best because one, some people get frustrated on dating apps, like sweeping up and down, searching for a partner, or waiting for somebody to actually talk to them. You are on a dating app about 3 months, nobody has gotten to you. You begin to feel depressed, like, am I not beautiful or am I not handsome? That type of feelings. So dating app is a good thing to some people, but personally, I think it's not a good thing. Another aspect of dating app is that most times the relationship that are formed or built from dating apps, they are not actually sustainable. It's mostly temporal. There are mostly people who are looking for superficial aspects in another human being. You get it? And most times dating apps actually leads to long distance relationship. And meeting somebody for the first time, talking to that person from a distance, there are a lot of disadvantages because human beings generally they are good at hiding their true quality. So you might not get to know that person very well. So in as much as some people have actually gotten a partner from social media apps like dating apps, I can say majority of the time it does not lead to anywhere. To me, if I want to rate it in terms of percentage, I can say just about 5 or 3% of people actually get a partner from social media that leads to a long-lasting relationship or marriage. Some of them, even after getting married, they end up separating or divorcing because of the challenges that they have. So social media, I cannot condemn that it's not a good place to look for a partner. There are people who have actually gotten a partner from social media and their relationship is working effectively. But majority of the cases, it is not good.